Yo, Elliott.
Yo, Elliott, I'm going to start individual psychotherapy. Would you choose male or female specialist if you were me? I heard I should treat them all as if they were sexless, but I doubt it after all I heard from your lessons. Relationship with my father was poor all my life, but my mother has always tried her best. Maybe it has some meaning for choosing psychotherapist sex. Well, whoever told you to treat them like they're sexless is an idiot, because that's trying to pretend something that's not there. What I would invite you to do is to do a little bit of research on transference and countertransference. This is huge, and if not considered, what will happen is you'll get caught up in a drama with your psychotherapist that is totally unconscious, and if your psychotherapist doesn't understand it, can create a lot of problems in your life and probably that psychotherapist's life. Transference is where your relationship with your father then becomes transferred to an authority figure, particularly one that you open up to in a vulnerable way, where you now project your father image on that person. You know, I've had a lot of young men who I've never even met, a lot of young men I don't even know, who in some way, shape, or form have projected their father image on me. and what it usually looks like is it starts out really good. Wow, what I've always wanted, and then I hated you. Because underneath it's usually fractured. They're looking for something to chop me down by. I loved you, and then I hated you. You say your mom tried to do her best. So maybe you have, I'm not saying this is the case, but maybe you have a savior's mentality in terms of your mother. Meaning like, oh, my poor mom, she never got any help from my dad. She really tried her best. So now every woman that you deal with, you're gonna sort of hold that same sort of frame with her. He says a woman told her sexless for me. Yeah, don't listen to women. First of all, my advice is don't get a woman. Don't do it with a woman. Because a man does what? What does a man do through initiation, brothers? You don't go back to the mommy. You don't atone with the mommy. You don't ascend to the mommy. You make a clean break with the mommy. You need objectivity as it relates to women. You don't need more projection. You don't need more integration with the female. That until she becomes your wife. But then it needs to be an ordered integration that's only possible with a man that's fully in his masculine, i.e. atone with the father. So the woman who told you that is a fool, but that's the world we live in right now. Any man that listens to a woman in this way is a fool too. You don't listen to women about stuff like that. That's not her place. It's not smart. You don't go to a woman for therapy. I don't even think women should be therapists. The same reason why there's no woman priests. In the Catholic Church and Orthodox Church, women are not allowed to be priests. There's a reason why, and it has very much to do with the reason why I believe that women shouldn't be psychotherapists. But anyway, back to the transference stuff. What I would do is if I was to interview, first of all, you got to interview these psychotherapists, because the type of relationship that ensues between a psychotherapist and his patient is one that is deeply... a lot of tangled webs. It's a tangled web. And it's because when you become emotionally vulnerable in a place like that, you can't help but yourself, but in an unconscious way, to begin to perceive that person differently than what they actually are. And it has a lot to do with your own emotional wounds and projections, like I said. But the thing that we want to have happen ultimately as men is an atonement with the masculine, an atonement with the father, an atonement with other men. And it doesn't mean that, this is going to be the man that, your psychotherapist is going to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. He can't be. He's a fallen man. That's why I think it's better that you find a spiritual director, because at least he's on his way to Christian perfection. Most psychotherapists most of them are in a state of mortal sin, and most of them, because their intellect is darkened, they will affirm your sin. This is what Freud did. He affirmed people in their sin. And it was more a matter of how can you blame someone else? So the whole psychotherapy thing was about how to blame your father, where the sacrament of reconciliation is about how to reconcile with the father. Psychotherapy is trash, but I get it. I did a lot of it too. So I'm not going to tell you don't do it. You just got to figure it out on your own. Bioenergetic analysis is a little bit different, because you resolve the physical wounds, right? The shallow breathing, lack of physical energy, the turning in physically on oneself, or the escape from the body. These are all body psychotherapies, which are much better, much more therapeutic than talk therapy. But either way, long story short, you must deal with a man. There's no question about it. Do not go to a female psychotherapist because she has the mind of a woman. No matter how much a woman reads about male psychology, she will never understand male psychology. Especially if she's a licensed psychotherapist. That means she's reading the Academy of Psychotherapy's manual that says that, you know, anything that's masculine is actually toxic. That's where they got that from. Bad idea on every front. I would rather have no psychotherapist, no help. I'd rather be by myself than to be confiding in some secular brainiac woman with a bunch of degrees and a big ego. F that. Done.
Yo, Elliott.